Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning, right? So, today we are going to see a new topic in C++. We have the function topic today. Before this, we have learned the looping, okay? So, today we are going to see the function in detail, okay? So, before we go into detail about this function, do you come across before have you come across before this any function in C++? If you notice, okay, you use the function void main, right, in C++. Okay, you use the void main to write the program, okay. You must have this void main in order to write the program in C++. Okay, so if you still remember when you use the void main, okay, you have to put all the statement within open and close braces in this void main. Okay, if you see this example here, I have the example here. This is the integer main or void main. I use the void main or integer main. Okay, so you have a long statement between open and close brace in this void main. Okay, so this is the function that we have in C++. The main function, we call it the main function in C++. Sometimes you use the integer and sometimes you use the void here, right? Okay, so if you see, okay, in this function, if you have a long program, okay, your main here is become longer, right? You have a long program. Okay, so when you compile the program, you will get a problem if you have the long program here. Okay, so in order to solve our problem, okay, if you compile the long program here, okay, then when you have the error or any syntax error or any logic error, you find it's difficult to find the error, right? So it's not worth if we write long program in one function, right? So today we are going to see, okay, this long function we can separate into several function. We can create another function, okay. So this when you have the several function, okay, from the main function you can create several function here. So in this case we call it modular programming. Meaning here, in what does it mean? Okay, modular programming, we're breaking a program into smaller. So we can manage the function or module easily, right? Okay, so function, what is function? Actually, what is function? A collection of statement to perform a task. Okay, so when you want to perform any task, okay, you have to create a function. Okay, so we are going to see how to create the function in this topic, right? Okay, so why we need to use the modular programming? Okay, I have the several statement here. Improve maintainability of program and simplifies the process of writing program. That is why we have to, or we want to create a function in our program. Okay, so if you see the example here, okay, this is the long program that we have in integer main. You have a lot of statement here, okay, a longer statement here. Okay, in this example, you can create several function. Okay, how to create the function, I will show after this. But in this example, what I want to show to the student, okay, this is the function we can create from the main function here. Maybe you can create four function here, including the main function, right? So you have the main function, function 2, function 3, and function 4. Okay, in this program, the problem has been divided into small problem, each of which is handled by a separate function. So how to create this function? Let's say what how we want to differentiate between function 2, function 3, and function 4. Okay, we create a function according to their task. Let's say, for example, okay, you want to you want to input all the input statement in function 2. So meaning this function 2 is input function, and function 3, let's say, for process function, and then function 4, let's say, for output function. So you have input, output, input, process, and output. So main here, This is the main function. Main you have to write also the main, because in C++ we have to write the main function. So in main function, what we have here, we just call this function. Let's say you want to perform the input statement. You want to input something. So you perform this function too. And then let's say you want to process, you call function 3 from the main, then it will come to function 3, and then we process something here. Yeah, okay. Let's say we want to perform the function 4 for the output, so we call from main the function 4, and then we'll come to function 4 to perform the output. Okay, we have seen the concept of function, so now we move to the function into detail. So you have to know in C++ we have two types of function. The first one, okay, we have the predefined function, or sometimes we call it built-in function. This function is already has in C++, so you don't have to create the function, but you can use the function, right? The second function, we call it user-defined function. This function, we want to create the function. The user has to create the function. Okay, so this user-defined function, we want to explore into detail. This is the focus of our lecture today, right? So, in user-defined function, you have to know, we have three types of function in user-defined function. The first one, we have function without parameter. The second one, we have function without parameter but with return statement. And then the third one, we have the function with parameter. So we are going to see the all this function into detail after this, right? So before you write any function, or you use the function, okay, we have to know the main rules in writing function. Okay, same goes before this, you have the looping, right? Okay, before you write the looping, you have to know the rules in writing looping. So in function also, you have to know the rules in writing function. Okay, so we want to see the rules in writing function. Okay, the first rules we have to know function declaration. What is the meaning of function declaration? Meaning here, okay, you have to declare the function. Okay, if you want to use any variables, right, before this you have to declare the variable. Okay, so if you want to use the function, you have to declare the function. So that is the function declaration. So what is the syntax of function declaration? Okay, this is the syntax. Okay, we see the syntax first. This is the syntax. Okay, you have to put the function name. What is the function name? And then what is the data type of the function, and then we have here semicolon. For example, okay, let's say your function name is input data, so you input data, open close bracket here, semicolon, and then we put the data type of our function for input data. Let's say the type of function is void, so void input data. So this is the function declaration. Type and then your function name, and then you have to end it with semicolon, right? Okay, so that is the first one. The second one, okay, the second rule, we have to know the function calling. We have the function calling. What is the meaning of function calling? Meaning here, you have to call the function. In order to use that function, the function that you create, you have to call the function. Okay, so how to call the function? So we have to know the syntax of calling the function. You just write the function name, and then we end up with semicolon here. For example, okay, let's say just now you use your function name is input data, so you just use input data, open and close bracket here, and then semicolon. So if you write just input data semicolon, meaning here, okay, you call the function input data. So just now you have you declare the function, and then you call the function. Now you have to do the function definition. What is the meaning of function definition? Meaning you have to write into detail what is the purpose of the function, what is the task of the function, what is the function doing. Okay, so we have to know the syntax. Okay, you have to know the syntax of function definition here. You have to put the type of the function, okay, and then your function name, open and close bracket, but don't put the semicolon here. Okay, because we want to continue our function, our detail about our function. What is the function task here? Okay, what is the function doing here? So you have to put the open brace and then close brace. Between open and close brace here, we can write any statement that we want to perform, the function want to perform. So if you have the statement, a lot of statement here, you can put between open and close brace here. For example, okay, let's say just now you use the function name input data. So your function name now is input data. The type is void. So you write void input data, but don't put the semicolon. When you write the declaration, you put the semicolon, right? But for the function definition, we don't put the semicolon because we want to continue into detail about this function. So you have to put the open brace, close brace, okay? Open, between open and close brace here, we want to see out insert radius, see in radius. We want to perform this statement. So, meaning, okay, if you want to do the function definition, you want to detail out about the function task, okay, what the function is doing, right? Okay, so in order to write the function, we have to know the function declaration, function calling, and then the last one we have to know the function definition. We have three main roles you have to remember in order to write the function. Okay, so now we are going to see the example here. Okay, I want to show you to the student the example. One example, simple example. Okay, this example, we write all the statement in function main, in void main. Okay, then after this, we want to see how to separate this function, this statement into several functions according to uh, this subtopic. We have without parameter, we have without parameter with return statement, and then we have the with parameter. So this is the example. Okay, the example here, we want to calculate the area of the circle. Okay, but what we have here, we put all the statement in void main. Okay, you have hashtag here, include IOStream, void main, open brace, close brace. Okay, between open and close brace here, we want to insert radius, see out insert radius, see in radius. Okay, so you have area equal to 3.142 times radius, and then we have see out area of the circle is area. So you have the two variable here. The first variable is radius, the second variable is area. So you have to declare at the top here radius, area. The data type is float. Okay, so this is the example of how to calculate the area of the circle. We put all the statement in void main, in one function, that is void main. Okay, okay, by using this example, okay, if you see, we have three main tasks that this function has to perform. Okay, three main tasks here. Okay, the first task this function has to perform, okay, input. We have to input, the function have to input insert radius here, see in radius. So this is the first task the function has to perform. The second task, the function has to do the process, calculate the area of the circle, 3 times radius here. And the third task the function has to perform is to see out the area of the circle. So we have input, process, and then output. So we can divide this void main into three tasks here. Okay, three tasks here: input, process, and output. So if you know, okay, now you know already three main tasks that the function has to perform. Okay, so we can create the function into detail now. The function without parameter into detail now. We want to see the without parameter first. Okay, so we can create. Okay, just ignore the statement at the top here first. Okay, we go to the definition here. Okay, so just now you have the input statement in function main. So what we have in input here, we have the uh, insert radius, we have the insert radius and then cin radius. So we can put this statement, the input statement here, in one function input. Okay, so let us see what we have in function input here. Void input. Okay, so this is the our function name input, and then this is the data type for input. Okay, so we have open brace, close brace. In this input function, we can put the cout, insert radius, and then cin radius. So this is the function definition for input function. Okay, and then the second task this function has to perform is to calculate the area of the circle. We have the statement here, area equal to 3.142 times radius. So this is the process. Okay, the process, the calculation. So we put it in the function calculation or in the function process. Okay, you can use any name. Okay, so I use the calculation here. So void calculation. Okay, your function name is calculation, and the data type for your function name is void. So in this calculation, we have to put the calculation, the process just now, area equal to 3.142 times radius. Okay, then we close the brace here. So this is the second function definition, meaning okay, you have the input function, you have the process of calculation function, and then the third one, what the function has to perform is to output, to see out the area of the circle, to output the area of the circle. So we divide this cout into another function, meaning here the last function that you have, the last definition of the function that you have here, void output. Your function name is void, this output, and then the data type is void. What we have in output function here, we have cout, the area of the circle is area. So if you notice here, we have three definition of function, input, and then calculation, and then output. So in each function, every function here, we have to detail what is the function do here, what is the function perform here. Okay, so now this is the function definition. Function definition for the input, for the calculation, and then the output. Okay, if you still remember what I told just now, okay, in order to write the function, you have to know the main rules here just now. You have to declare, you have to call, and then you have to do the function definition. What we have done here, we have done the function definition, but we haven't done the function declaration and calling yet. So now you have three definition here, function definition, input, calculation, and then output. So all these function, input, calculation, and output here, you have to declare at the top here. Okay, after you write the include at outstream.h, okay, you have to declare the function. Okay, the first one, input. Okay, so you just write void input, open close brace. You just copy here void input function name, open close brace, and last here we have the semicolon. Okay, void calculation, and then semicolon, void output, semicolon. So when you write all these input, calculation, and output here, okay, you just put the data type. So this is the function declaration, meaning you have declared the function, right? So one more to go, we have to call the function. Okay, so we haven't write the calling yet. So where to call the function? You have to call the function in main, in void main. So in void main, you have to write void main, open and close brace, just put the function name. Let's say you put input, open close braces, open close bracket, semicolon, meaning you call the function input. Calculation, open and close bracket, semicolon, you call the function calculation. And then output, open, close bracket, semicolon, you call the function output here. So this is the function calling. So now we have completed all the rules that we have to write in order to write the function. We have the function declaration, we have the function calling, and then we have the function definition. So if you notice here, how many variables that we have used in this function. Okay, we have the radius, also we have the radius here, we have the area, and then here we have the area. So we have two variables, the first one radius, and then the second one area. So we have to declare all these variable at the top here, at the top of your uh, program. Okay, so after you write the include at stream.h, you can declare your variables here, float, radius, and then area. So this is the declaration of your variables. Okay, this is the declaration of your function. This is the function calling, and then this is the function definition. Now, how to read this function? Okay, when you write this function in C++ in JGrep, okay, what we have to know, okay, the compiler will search the main function first. Okay, so now when we compile this program, the compiler will search the main function first. So we have the main function here. So the compiler will read what we have in the main. Okay, what we have in the main input here, we call the input function. So what we have to do, what we have to know, it will jump to this function. Okay, the flow of our program will jump to this input function and read whatever statement that we have in input function. In this case, what we have, we insert the radius and then cin radius. So after this, we don't have any more statement. So the function, the flow will jump to the main back. Okay, back to the main. Okay, then what we have after the calling input, we have the calling for calculation. So our flow will jump to the calculation. In calculation, we have the area equal to 3 times radius. So we perform this statement. After we perform this statement, the flow of our program will jump back to the function. Okay, so after the calling calculation, we have the calling output. So we jump to output function. What we have here, the area of the circle is area. Then back again to the main function. After this, we don't have any statement to perform. So our function add up here. Okay, so this is the way how to write, how to read the function without parameter. Okay, why we call it without parameter here? Okay, because in our definition, in our function definition here, we don't have any variable or anything here inside the bracket here. Blank, we don't have anything in the bracket. That's why we call it without parameter. Okay. Okay, now we are going to see the same example, but now we want to change to the example just now to the function without parameter, but with a return statement. Meaning in this function, we still have the without parameter, but this function has return statement at the end of the function. Not all the function, but maybe one of the function. Okay, we are going to see this into detail now. Okay, so the example just now, okay, if you compare to the function without parameter, the first one here, we have three function definition, right? We have input, and then we have calculation, and then we have output. Okay, but if we change to the function without parameter with return statement, okay, we see the example here. Okay, now, okay, what if you see here, what is the difference between, okay, see first, what is the difference between the function without parameter and without parameter with return statement? Okay, my question now, how many function definition you have in this uh, function without parameter with return statement. Okay, if we compare to the first one here without parameter, we have three, right? Input, calculation, and output. But here we have input and then we have calculation. We don't have any output function definition, right? So in the function input, okay, similar to what we have just now, we input our radius, insert radius, C in radius, and then we have the calculation. Okay, now if you notice here, okay, we have the second function definition, calculation, but what is the difference between the calculation in this function and then the calculation in the function without parameter here? Okay, so if you see, okay, the data type for the function calculation is different, right? For the without parameter, we use the void, but without parameter with return statement here, we use float. Okay, okay, so that is the first difference here. So in the function calculation, in this without parameter with return statement, okay, we read here calculation and then the data type is float. Okay, in this function we have to calculate the area equal to 3 times radius. Okay, then we have return area semicolon. Okay, this is the difference when you use the data type other than void here. Okay, we use the float. You have to write the return something at the end here. Okay, you want to return what? We want to return the area, so return area. So in this void calculation, we don't have the return statement because we use the data type void. But other than void, you can return something. If you write here return, if your calculation integer, you can return area, meaning area is integer. So you have to make sure whatever you return here, let's say you return area, okay, the data type for the area must be similar to the data type of calculation. So the data type for the calculation is float. So you have to check, okay, your data type for the area also at the top here. Where is the data top here? Okay, we have float. Okay, same goes to the radius because the data type for the area is float. So the radius also, the data type for the radius also is float. So you have radius, area, float. But here you have radius, area also float. Okay, so similar, but the different here, the data type for the calculation is float, but here you have void. Okay, so you have only two function definition, input and calculation. So where is your output? Where you want to put the output statement? Okay, if we have the function without parameter with return statement, meaning here, okay, we want to return something, we want to return area. Where we want to return? We want to return this area to the main. You want to return something to the main. Okay, this is the communication between the function. So in main, okay, normally what we have in main, just now we have input statement. Okay, not input statement, calling input. Okay, so you have calling input, you have calling the calculation, also we have calling the calculation here. But okay, in this case, we don't have any output function, so we want to output the area of our circle in the main. So whatever you return area. Okay, so we assign the calculation that we have here to area. Okay, what you have here, maybe you return area, the value of area, let's say 10. So we have here calculation 10, so we assign 10 to area. So when we have see out, the area of the circle is area, meaning you have the area of the circle is 10. Yeah, so when you use when you write the function without parameter with return statement, you have to bear in your mind, okay, you don't have any output function at the bottom here, but where we want to output our statement. We want to output our statement into main, in the main, not into main, in the main. So we write all the output statement in the main. So how to pass the value that we calculate in the function here? We pass it through return statement. When you write return area, meaning you want to return this area to the main. Okay, so this, whatever you calculate, whatever value you have here, after you have done the calculation, we return to the main. Okay, return to the area here. Then we can see out the area of the circle is area. Okay, so this is the difference between the function without parameter and the function without parameter with return statement. Okay, so I repeat again the difference here. Okay, input, yes, we have the same with without parameter. Calculation, the data type for the calculation is different now. Here we have void, but in the without parameter with return statement we have float. Why we have float here? Because we want to return something. Yeah? We have to return. When you have return statement, this function, the data type for this function cannot be void. Must be other than void. Then you can use the return here. So where we want to return the area, we want to return to main, because we don't have any output function at the bottom here. So you want to return to the main, meaning you want to output, you want to write the output statement in the main. Okay, so in the main now we have the output statement, but just now we only have the output calling. Yeah, so that is the difference. So after that you check again here. We declare the void input and then float calculation, but we don't declare the output because we don't have any output function in this program, in this um, function without parameter with return statement. Okay, so this is the difference between the without parameter and without parameter with return statement. Okay, now we move to the third user defined function. We have the function with parameter. Okay, so if you compare this function with parameter with the function without parameter and function without parameter with return statement, okay, if you compare here, how many function definition we have in this with parameter? Okay, you have the calculation and then you have the output, but you don't have the input function. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, just now we have the input and calculation, but we don't have the output. But for the parameter, we have the calculation and output, but we don't have the input function. Okay, so we go into detail into each function here. The first one, yeah, we have the function definition for the calculation. Okay, okay. Now in this function calculation, if you notice here, we have something in the bracket here, right? Before this, okay, if you see before this, in this function calculation, do you have anything here? No. Do you have anything here? No. Okay, so we don't have anything in the bracket. But when you write function with parameter, okay, if you see here, in our calculation here, we have something. We have two variable, okay. The first variable length and then the second variable width. Okay, the data type for the length float and the data type for the width also float here. Okay, we just read this function calculation. So you have the function calculation. What variable? What is the variable that we have here? Length and width. Area equal to length times width. Whatever length you have here, whatever width you have here, we will calculate the area. So let's say length is 3, width is 3, so you get 3 times 3, you get the area is 9. Okay, so we stop there. Okay, now we go into detail the output. What we have in the output, we have the cout statement. The area of the circle is area. So let's say you get the output, the value of area just now 9. So we have the area of the rectangle, not the circle. The area of the rectangle is area here. Okay, is area here. So I change the rectangle, not the circle, because I want to show to the student the different value. If we write the circle, okay, we have area 3 times radius times radius, right? So we can't see the difference here. So I want to show to the student the difference between the length and the width. Okay, let's say length 4 and then width 3, so we get 11, 12 here, right? So that is the purpose of I change to the circle to rectangle, but the concept is similar, right? Okay, so we have calculation, we have output. So in this case, if you see, okay, if you see into detail in this case, do we have any input function? Okay, no, we don't have any input function here, but we have the output function. Just now, we don't have the output, but we have the input function. So, if we don't have any input function here, so where we want to input our function, our statement, okay? So, we have to input our statement in the main. Okay, so, if you see in the main here, okay, we have Cout insert length and width. Let's say the length is 4 and then the width is 3. So Cin length 4, width 3. So after that, you call the function calculation. Calculation here, meaning this is the calling for calculation. Calculation, what is the value of our length just now? 4, our width 3. So we want to pass the value of our length 4 and then our width 3 to this function calculation. So length 4 will move to here and width 3 will move to here. So when we call the function calculation and we pass the 4 and 3, so meaning 4 move to this length, 3 move to this width, okay, area equal to 4 times 3. So you get 12. Okay, after that we don't have any more statement. The flow will jump to the main again. So after this calling calculation, we move here to the next statement, output, meaning we call the function output. So the flow will jump to the output here. What we have in the output function, the area of the circle is area. So whatever you have just now, the area, okay, so the area of the circle is 12. So this is the output function. So in this case, we put all the input statement in the main because we don't have any input function. Okay, so this is the difference between the function with parameter just now. Okay, not with parameter, the function without parameter but with return statement. In that function, we don't have any output statement, but we output in the main. But for this case, okay, we don't have any input statement, but we input it in the main. Okay, so that is the difference. So that's why we use the parameter. If you see here, this is the parameter, meaning in the bracket here we have the parameter. Why we use the parameter? Because we want to pass the value we insert in the main, in the any input statement here, we want to pass through parameter. Or if you don't put the parameter, we cannot communicate with this calculation, right? So we can communicate the main, whatever we want to pass to the calculation, we have to put the parameter in the bracket. Okay, so that is the concept of parameter. Meaning you want to pass something from the main to the function. You want to pass something from the main to the function, you have to use the parameter. Okay, so that is the the function definition. So if you go to the top here, okay, what we have, whatever you have, whatever variable you have here, you have to declare. So we have the length, width, area. So you have to declare length, width, and area. float here, and then we have to declare the whatever function definition that we have here, calculation and output. So calculation, we just copy the header here, void calculation, float length, float width. So just copy, and then we end up with semicolon, and then we have output also we end up with semicolon. So this is the declaration of the function calculation and output. This is the calling. But what we want to call, just the calculation and output. So this is the function definition for calculation, and then this is the function definition for the output. So we don't have any input function here, but we input all the input statement in the main. Then we pass whatever we input through the parameter. So this is the concept of the function with parameter. Okay. So now the clue here, I have the clue here. Okay. Now if you write the function without parameter, okay, without parameter, the first function just now, okay, you have input function, you have output process function, and then you have output function. So in every function we have input, process, and then we have output. But if you write the function without parameter with return statement, okay, we don't have output function, output function declaration, but we output all the output statement in the main function. But for the function with parameter, we don't have any input function declaration definition, but we input all the input statement in the function. So this is the example of the function with parameter. Okay, so that is the clue. What is the function without parameter? What is the function with parameter? Without parameter with return statement, and then the function with parameter. Okay. Okay, so we have seen the three main rules in writing function. Okay, and then we have seen the three types of user different function. We have the function without parameter, function without parameter but with return statement, and then we have the function with parameter. So now we are going to see the scope of variables. Okay, so what is the meaning of scope of variables here? Okay, when we talk about the scope of variable, this means that this variable valid in which function. Okay, so we are going to see the scope of variables. Okay, so we have the first one, we call it global variable. Okay, so when you declare the variables at the top of your program, okay, which is after include IOStream. Okay, we have here after I include IOStream here, we have for example float length, width, and area here. You put it after IOStream. Okay, so these variables, we call it global variable because you declare at the top of your program after include IOStream. So when you declare your variable, okay, as a global variable, so these variables can be used anywhere in your function, anywhere. Okay, in any function it can be used. It's valid in any function. Okay, so that's why here we have the float length width area here. Okay, I just take this example. Okay, you have the float length width and area. So if you see in this function calculation, we have the area, length, and width, and then in the function output also we have the area here. Okay, if you see, we don't have to declare all these variable in this function because we have declared at the top here. We just declare once at the top, then you can use anywhere. You can use in this function, and then the area you can use in this function calculation, and then the area also you can use in output because the variable become all the variables is global. Okay, so that is the meaning of global variable. You declare at the top after your include IOStream. Okay, so you just declare once. Okay, you don't have to declare in every function, but you can use all the variable in any function. Okay, and the second one, we have the local variable. When you declare your variable as a local variable, meaning here this variable okay, can be used or valid only in that function. Okay, so you have to declare in every function in order to use the variable. Okay, so if you see, okay, between global and local here, is easier for us to declare the variable as a global, because you have to declare only once at the top. You don't have to declare in every function. So that is the meaning of scope of variable. Scope meaning where is the function valid. So is it valid in that function only or everywhere? Okay, so that is the scope of variable. So we have seen all the concept that is relate to function. Okay, so now we come to the conclusion. Okay, conclusion of our lecture today. Okay, so in this function, why we use function? Because we want to manage easily our program. Okay, so you have the long program, you can divide into function, so you can perform the task according to the function, so you can manage your program easily according to each function, right? So in order to write function, you have to know the this is our conclusion. In order to write function, you have to know the three main rules in writing function. The function declaration, you have to know how to declare the function, and then the function calling, you have to know how to declare how to call the function, and then the third one, function definition. The detail of the function you have to do. Alright, so that is the first one. And then we have a user defined function, the focus of our lecture. So you have to know, okay, we have three types of user defined function. The first one, we have the function without parameter, and then the second, we have the function without parameter but we have the return statement, and then the last one, we have the function with parameter. So you have to differentiate between each of these function. Make sure you know, okay, you know the difference between of each function. But sometimes, okay, when you have the question, okay, you can how to know when to use the function with parameter or function without parameter. It depends on the question. You read the question, then you get the clue what to use, either the function without parameter or function with parameter. Okay, then the last one here, we have the scope of a variable, our variable. Okay, we have the global or local, meaning where you declare your variables. Is it at the top of the program or in each function that you create, right? So this is I think this is about our topic today, function, right? So before I stop, I have exercises here. Okay, I provide exercises, two exercises here. Okay, okay, now we see the exercises that we have here. Okay, okay, the first one, this one, I read the question one first. Okay, program B shows a program which does not use the concept of modular programming, meaning here we don't use the concept of function. Okay, but we put all the statement in main function. Okay, we see the program here. Okay, you have the main, and then all the statement that we have here: integer number, total, average, integer response, var response. Okay, then enter the number, cin number, if number here. Okay, you can read after this. Okay, the question, and then this is the continuation of our question. Then you have the question to answer from the program B here. So what is the question you have to answer? You are required to rewrite a complete program that use the concept of modular programming of function. Okay, so here we have the main function. Okay, we put all the statement in main function. The question asks the student to write uh, the complete program but use the modular programming of function. Okay, the program should consist of, okay, what? A declaration of function positive which a suitable data type, meaning here the function positive, what is the suitable data type for the function positive? Okay, and then the second one, we have declaration of variable as global variable. Okay, in this case, if you see here, declaration of variable as global variable, meaning the scope of variable now is global. Okay, we want to declare, how to declare. And then the question C, okay, we have see here we have the third question. Okay, a function calling of function positive in function min, right? And then D, function positive that display the output of total number positive that have been entered and return a value of average to function min. Okay, so in this question D here, you have to write the function positive, but in this function positive, you have to display the output of this output, the wording here, total number positive that have been entered, and you have a return statement at the bottom. Okay, at the bottom of your function. Okay, and then the last question we have number D here, number E. Okay, function main that display the output of average of numbers is, okay, so you have to write in function main, this is the output that we have to write in function main. So all these A, B, C until E here, I put the marks at the end of the each question. Okay, so you want to write the how long you want to write the statement depends to the mark. If the mark is is more marks here, like say 5 marks, okay, meaning you have to write quite a long answer, right? Okay, so we have question 1 and then we have question 2 here. Okay, so you can read the question 2 later, and then you can try question 1 and question 2 later. Okay, so you have to understand first, you have to understand the concept of function that we have discussed before this, then try to do the question 1 and question 2. Maybe someday next week, okay, I will discuss with you the answer for these exercises. Okay, but you have to try first. Okay, before I give the answer, you have to try first, then after that I give you the solution of this. We discuss the solution of the problem or the question, right? So you have to try, okay, you have to try question 1 and question 2. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Okay, we have a long lecture about function. Okay, I hope you can understand the function, and then you can answer the question that I provided to you, right? Okay, thank you.